Hypocrite has a terrific channel, and he is a great guy. When I was a baby channel, with just a couple of hundred subscribers, he put me on his channel. He came across my content, he liked it. He was an early booster of my channel, and I've always been so thankful to him for that. But it's not just because he helped me out. He's got great content, right? And now, of course, since YouTube is slowly but surely throttling every channel that's dissident, that doesn't speak the mainstream narrative, they're throttling Hypocrite. So I figured I'd help him out by giving him a slot on my channel that's bigger. It's all grown up. And I hope that you will watch this video of his. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up and go and subscribe to his channel. Hypocrite is a terrific channel. He's a great guy. I can't speak highly enough, so I'm gonna just shut my yapping mouth and let you listen to Hypocrite.
What is going on YouTube? It is I, Hypocrite, your boy LP, coming at you raw, coming at you the same way Coach came at his ex-girlfriend.
And I said that, I didn't want to fuck with the condom anymore, because I found it, I didn't really like it. I mean, what guy likes fucking with a condom, right?
And what I'm coming at you with today is another episode of Women Are Wonderful. Now, this is a recurring series that I do on my channel, and so I don't normally go into the whole whys and wherefores of why I do this, but given that Coach has extended an invitation to me and I may be reaching some new people, I'll just briefly explain what it is that we're here to do. And first, you have to understand the Women Are Wonderful effect, which is the phenomenon found in psychological and sociological research, which suggests that people associate more positive attributes with women compared to men. This bias reflects an emotional bias towards women as a general case. Even if you are not familiar with the name of this effect, you may have sensed its presence in your day-to-day dealings with the society in which we live in other ways, such as the empathy gap, or as it is more colloquially termed, the pussy pass. And if you've ever been on Twitter, you may have noticed a tendency towards anti-male witticisms such as, if we can't ban guns, we can just ban men. Get it? Because men are the violent ones. Get it? And you've probably seen those kinds of articles going around about how great the world would be if it was just ran by women, how there would be no wars and there'd be a free abortion clinic on every corner. It would just be, well, it would be wonderful, wouldn't it? And so I'm just here to push back on all of that a little bit. And the way I do that is by sharing anecdotes. Now, I understand that anecdotes are not the plural of data, or is it that they are the plural of data? I don't know. I can never remember that one. I'm a web developer, not some big city aphorist. And yes, aphorist is a real word. Look it up, bitch. The point is, I think that the devil is often in the details, and I find myself agreeing with Stéphane Molyneux when he says,
until we understand the capacity for females to be thoroughly and completely and totally evil, we can't save the world. We can't save the world. We can't understand it.
So not to put too fine a point on it, but this video isn't meant to be some kind of proof that all women are evil. Obviously, that's not the case. And I do not hate women. I can't stress that enough. In fact, I quite like them. And unlike those shallow jock types, I actually like them for their personalities. I mean, I guess in the interest of saving time, what I'm trying to say is that I am a very virtuous man. So, having said all that, who's ready to hear some motherfucking anecdotes? Are you ready? You better be.
Do you want that love? Do you need that love? It's gonna make you run. It's gonna make you run. Oh, now do you want that love?
The Michelle Blair tortured her children, then hid their bodies in a freezer for years. This one is from June 7th, 2018, a little bit older, but I guess I missed this one and I thought I'd circle back to it. In 2015, 35-year-old Michelle Blair was living on the east side of Detroit with her 4 children when she was evicted for not paying rent. Relatives say she was unable to keep a job and would always call them for money, but those calls stopped when they refused to help and advised her to get a job and go back to school. Blair apparently disregarded their advice because on the morning of March 24th, 2015, she was served an eviction notice, but she wasn't there. That's when a crew from the 36th District Court went inside and began removing furniture from the home. What they removed next wasn't furniture, and it would send shockwaves through the community. Inside a white deep freezer located in the living room of the home was the frozen body of a teenage girl wrapped in a large plastic bag. When police arrived, they made yet another discovery, the body of a boy right underneath her. A neighbor didn't waste any time disclosing Michelle Blair's whereabouts. Police found her at another neighbor's house with her 2 children aged 8 and 17, but her other children, Stephen Barry 9 and Stony Blair 13, were missing. The medical examiner ruled their deaths homicides and determined that they had been in the freezer for at least a couple of years. Michelle Blair confessed to the murders at the Wayne County Circuit Court. She told Judge Dana Hathaway that she killed her demons after finding out they were raping her youngest son, a claim that has never been substantiated. Blair said she returned home one day in August 2012 to find her son simulating sexual activities using dolls. It was then Blair asked him, "Why are you doing that? Did someone ever do this to you?" When he told her that his brother Stephen had, she went upstairs to confront him. Blair said he confessed, and that's when she began punching and kicking him before placing a garbage bag over his head until he lost consciousness. Blair stated that she repeatedly poured scalding hot water on his genitals, causing his skin to peel off. She later made Stephen drink Windex and wrapped a belt around her son's neck, lifted him up and asked, "Do you like how this feels?" choked with a belt. Blair said he lost consciousness again. After 2 weeks of torture, Stephen succumbed to his injuries on August 30th, 2012. Blair put his body in her deep freezer. 9 months after murdering Stephen, Blair said she found out that Stoney was also raping her youngest son. That's when she began starving Stoney and brutally beating her until she died in May 2013. She was going to turn herself into police, she said, but when her youngest son told her that he didn't want her to go, she made other arrangements. Blair put Stoney's body in a plastic bag and stuffed her in the deep freezer on top of Stephen and continued living in the home as if nothing were amiss. Blair told the judge that she did not feel any remorse over her actions. "They had no remorse for what they did to my son. There was no other option. There's no excuse for rape. I would kill them again." Prosecutor Karen Goldfarb stated that they found no evidence of rape.
Do you want that love? Do you need that love?
Belfast woman's primary aim was to kill officers, court hears. This is a story from the Belfast Telegraph, published September 18th, 2019. A North Belfast woman accused of luring the PSNI to a bogus incident of domestic abuse had a primary aim of killing police officers. The judge presiding over the non-jury trial was told there was a combination of physical, forensic, and circumstantial evidence which would convince him of Connor's overwhelming guilt. Christine Connor is also believed to have posed as a blonde Swedish model to strike up an online relationship with an Englishman accused of subsequently sending her component parts for pipe bombs. The 34-year-old denies 6 offenses dating back to 2013. Connor is accused of 2 counts of possessing explosives with intent to endanger life, 2 counts of causing an explosion likely to endanger life, attempting to murder a police constable, and the preparation of terrorist acts. It is the Crown's case that Connor undertook a trial run and threw a pipe bomb in North Belfast on May 16th before launching a second attack at a police officer from an alleyway in the early hours of May 28th after luring police to the scene with a bogus 999 call. Connor was arrested in the aftermath of the second incident, with Mr. McCullum saying there was plenty of evidence to show there was a lethal intention. She refused to answer police questions, but during her 7th interview in a prepared statement, Connor said she was a member of Weight Watchers and that she was in the area in the early hours as she was out walking and taking exercise. Press X to doubt.
Take it personal. If you you're running with this kind of girl, I'm sure she gon' rock your world. Like the way she won't rock with her.
Baby batterer who left taut brain damaged, then moaned about missing haircut appointment, dodges jail. This story from the Daily Record, published September 26th. A woman who left a baby brain damaged, then moaned about missing a haircut appointment, has been spared jail. Shannon Souter walked free after a judge said it neither appropriate or necessary to lock her up. The 23-year-old attacked the wee girl over a 2-month period while apparently looking after her at a house in Arbroath, Angus. The child had brain injuries in April 2018, as well as fractures to her skull, ribs, and ankle. She may also have permanent blindness, with medics describing her prognosis as poor. Souter was sentenced, having earlier pled guilty to assaulting the girl to her severe injury, permanent impairment, and to the danger of her life. Lord Turnbull said Souter had been struggling with a history of depression and other personal issues at the time. Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I was almost angry. The judge went on, she punishes herself daily and will continue to do so. I think there is little the court can do by way of punishment that is greater than what she has imposed on herself. I beg to differ.
Do you want that love?
Sorry, this is really neither here nor there, but I was just looking at these pictures and it made me think about everything that's wrong with online dating. I mean, imagine you're looking at this picture and you're thinking, yo, I wouldn't mind a little piece of that. And then you show up for the date and it's like, what the fuck is this? Where's the other girl? Did you eat her? God damn.
Do you need that love? It's gonna make you cry.
Woman facing perjury charge after authorities say she made up story about boyfriend allegedly kidnapping her. Just a little quick story from the Chattanoogan.com, published October 2nd. A woman who in January claimed her former boyfriend kidnapped and assaulted her has now been charged with aggravated perjury. Kristen Taylor Polis, 22, was arrested on Tuesday. Michael Wilson was charged with aggravated domestic assault, aggravated burglary, occupied habitation, and kidnapping, but all those have been dropped.
Oh, do you want that love?
Mother mutilated toddler's genitals with pliers and starved him so badly his buttocks didn't form. This is published to the Mirror Thursday, October 3rd, 2019. And the shit is officially getting real. A mother mutilated her 3-year-old son's genitals with pliers and starved the youngster so badly his buttocks were just flat folds of skin. Brittany Nicole Lippincott, 29, admitted a horrific catalog of child abuse in court 5 months after her injured son was found at her drug-filled home. Cops who rescued the boy found him in just his underwear with bruises on his face, injuries to his genitals and lips, and his entire ribcage visible. Asked about what had caused the traumatic injuries, the boy told an examiner, "Mommy did it with pliers." The boy was also found to have been so badly malnourished that he had only sagging skin where the muscles of his buttocks should have formed. He offered heartbreaking detail of how he had been starved, telling investigators how he would have to sit at the table and watch them eat. It's not my turn. On turning up at the address, the cops found a door bolted shut and were shocked to find a 3-year-old locked inside. After being arrested, Lippincott tried to blame her son's condition on an undiagnosed medical condition and told cops that the boy needs help. He needs to go to a doctor.
Once I crossed that line as a kid, I didn't want to go back. I was spoiled, I was greedy. I think back sometimes,
Colorado mother who sought gifts for Make-A-Wish daughter charged with girl's murder. The mother had sought donations for the bucket list of the girl who she said was dying of a terminal illness. This one was published to NBC News on October 21st. In a grand jury indictment revealed Monday, Kelly Renee Turner, 41, also known as Kelly Gant, was charged with 13 criminal counts that included child abuse, theft, and charitable fraud in the death of Olivia Gant. The indictment alleges Turner caused Olivia Gant's death, not the multiple illnesses that the mother claimed the girl had, and that prompted publicized ride-alongs with police and fire crews. The Make-A-Wish Foundation, which grants wishes to critically ill children, also paid about $11,000 for a Bat Princess costume party for her. Olivia's actual cause of death was not immediately clear. It was originally attributed to intestinal failure, according to the indictment issued Thursday. Her body was exhumed last year, and an autopsy found no physical evidence of that illness or other conditions that Turner claimed the girl suffered, including seizure disorder and a buildup of fluid in cavities deep within the brain. Olivia's death is now listed as undetermined. Investigators say Olivia had been using a feeding tube and was admitted in July 2017 to Children's Hospital Colorado, where doctors said her nutrition was deficient. This is how it goes with Munchausen by proxy. They starve the children, beat them, just completely cripple them, and then they go to the doctor and say, "Help, my kid's sick." The investigation into Olivia's death began after doctors at the hospital became suspicious last year after Turner brought in her older daughter because of bone pain. During an interview, investigators said Turner spontaneously brought up Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a psychological disorder in which parents or caregivers seek attention from the illness of their children or dependents and sometimes cause them injuries that require attention. That has never been my case, like at all whatsoever, she said in the interview. Press X to doubt. Mom jealous of two teen sons raping her 5-year-old foster daughter, kills victim, has sex with rapists beside her corpse. What in the fresh fucking hell is this?
What? Matt? What is going on?
In a bizarre crime story, a 39-year-old woman in Indonesia was accused of strangling her 5-year-old foster daughter to death in a jealous rage after she found out that her two teen sons had raped her. Her two sons, aged 14 and 16, had taken turns raping their foster sister. When their mother caught the two taking advantage of the little girl, the elder brother started strangling the victim. The mother also assisted the brother in strangling the girl. After the victim passed out, the three of them went on to have sex near the girl's corpse. The suspects then checked the girl for signs of life before dumping the body in the Samandiri River, and which was discovered by the Jakarta authorities on September 22nd. The autopsy report revealed several wounds on the victim's neck, tongue, private parts, and okay, all right. During the investigation into the girl's death, police found out that the mother had been involved in an incestuous relationship with her two sons for a couple of months before the incident took place. She would engage in sexual activities with them whenever her husband would be away from home. The three of them also had a threesome at some point. Investigators blame the illegal behavior of the brothers on the fact that they were used to watching porn. I'm not sure if that's quite what happened here. The promiscuous relationship between the two teenage boys and their mother, as well as their foster sister, happened because they would often watch pornographic videos on their handphones. The both of them would have hallucinations. I think that's supposed to say fantasies. This is translated from Indonesian. Vent their feelings to their own mother and foster sister, according to Sukambi police chief. Yeah, well, it's definitely the porn that's in fault here. It's not the mother who hears this and says, well, why don't we all just fuck? How about that? All right, you know what? I think that's enough from the gender of peace for one day. I do have one last thing to share with you guys. Remember how at the start of the video I was talking about how you be on Twitter and you see people talking about how things would be so great if women ran the world? Well, I recorded that yesterday, okay, and today somebody sends me this tweet from Katie Hill from November 2017, 2 years ago, and it says, Donald Trump, Roy Moore, Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, Louis C.K., Jeffrey Tambor, Brett Ratner, Al Franken, Ed Westwick, Hamilton Fish, Leon Wieseltier, Terry Richardson, Mark Halperin, Roy Price, Kevin Spacey. Here's an idea. How about we put more women in positions of leadership? Right now, I'm sure you're aware this is a list of men who, had sex scandals of one kind or another, although I noticed Bill Clinton is missing from the list. So the implication is that if you just put women in positions of power, you're not going to have these kinds of things happen. Now, what makes this so absolutely hilarious is that it's recently come out that Katie Hill was sexually exploiting female staffers who worked for her. In fact, she's the first female lawmaker to face a House ethics inquiry over sexual relationship after naked photograph leaked. Congratulations to Katie on breaking that particular glass ceiling. This kind of gets to the heart of what I was talking about and actually why I make these videos, because people use this women are wonderful narrative to leverage power, just like Katie Hill did. So you should always be weary. You should always be wary of people when you see them trying to suggest that women are somehow morally superior. Now, whenever I make these videos, a lot of people like to say, you know, well, men commit most of the violence, most of the murder, most of the sexual crimes. And that is undeniably true. I mean, it's not even close if you want to look at the raw statistics, but I guess I have a kind of a theory about this I'm going to lay on you guys, which is that the reason women commit less crime and sex crimes is not because they're more moral or less willing to transgress, as maybe it is that they're just less competent and have less opportunities, like less competent at violence, meaning, you know, weaker, physically weaker. And I do have a couple points to support this theory. I mean, first of all, women commit more infanticide than men. Women are more likely to kill their own children than men. And while postpartum depression does play a role in inflating that figure, it's not always the case. But women have the opportunity, because they're so often the sole caregivers or the sole custodians of the children, and of course because they have physical dominance over the children, this is within their level of competence to commit a crime like that. And then another thing you see is all these high school teachers fucking their students, which again is a situation of having a position of authority and exploiting that power over the people you have power over. A lot of times they're even using drugs and alcohol to ply these students, and it seems like there's another story like that every day in the media. You can't convince me that there's male high school teachers out here fucking students more often than women. There's just no way that's true. So you know, and domestic violence too, if you actually, like, when it comes to the crime stats, yes, men get charged with domestic violence crimes and go to jail way more often, of course, but if you look at surveys of who commits the violence, the women actually commit it way more. But again, they're just so incompetent when they do the violence that it doesn't even go to the police. I mean, just ask any guy. I've been, you know, slapped and scratched by one of my crazy exes, but I've never hit a woman. So for me personally, that holds true. And so that's kind of my point, I guess. That's kind of my point. So to the people who want to say, like, do you hate women or what are you trying to prove? I guess that's what I guess that's my point, is that I just don't think women are morally superior to men. So let's be realistic out here. Let's not view the fairer sex through rose-tinted glasses for our own good. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, hopefully you weren't too bored. I know it's not as keyno as the regular offerings on Coach's channel. Obviously, thanks to Coach for giving me this opportunity to entertain you guys. I remember when Coach was just a little upstart on YouTube begging for scraps at the table, and now he's got way more subscribers than me, so it's pretty cool to be here. I don't know what to say about all that. I blame the algorithm personally. I think Susan's fucking me. Why you fucking me, Susan? Why you fucking me, Susan? No, I'm kidding, obviously. Coach makes great content. I find myself agreeing with him almost all the time. Not sure if I'd personally endorse raw dogging your girlfriend after 2 weeks of dating, but generally Coach is on point with his advice. So thanks to everybody. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace out.
That boy needs therapy.
Granny Gazoo, let's have it, you. Now when I count three.
That boy needs therapy.
No, you cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. You cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. And as I left, no one tried to stop me. So I learned I was always as free as I wanted to be. I was always as free as a bird. I was always as free
can't, I can't emphasize this often enough. And I always get flack for this. I don't fucking care. Like, I'm sorry. I don't care, because the salvation of the world is more important than your feelings or my feelings or whatever, right? So until we understand the capacity for females to be thoroughly and completely and totally evil, we can't save the world. We can't save the world. We can't understand it.